So welcome back to another Gacha React, and this time we got Smack San RB. So as you already may know from his video, I react to him from before. He used to be a ZZZ diehard content creator. Like all his channel is basically all about ZZZ. But after discovering Wuthering Wave, he'd be like, "Fuck ZZZ, he's going to go to Wuba." So right now, I guess he's like Wuthering Wave content creator or like a Hoyoverse content creator, like in general, just talking about the news, something like that. But anyways, on his videos for today's videos, we're gonna talk about how criticizing Hoyoverse is the biggest sin in gacha. So basically, you already know some like the most majority people in Twitter, there's Twitter in the Hoyoverse community. They are diehard share. Whenever you criticize anything, even though you have a valid point or you have good reason or a data behind your back, they just call you hate the game, you're a tourist, you shouldn't belong here, go play other games, something like that. Even though criticizing a game means not saying the game the game is bad and stuff. Criticizing means that telling the company to improve their own game, so the game would be like going on to an upward trend and not going to the downward trend like Honka started. So without further ado, let's see what Smack San RB gonna say about this video. So take it away.
When people talk about the sins of gacha gaming, you usually hear the same stuff like someone spending a house worth of money on Genshin Impact, or maybe you think about that one guy that crashed out on stream.
I should be the only motherfucker getting praise in the Genshin community.
Or maybe, just maybe, you think about 7 out of 10. I don't know. Regardless, none of that even comes close to the real cardinal sin of the genre. The biggest, the most unforgivable mistake you could ever make, which is daring to criticize Hoyoverse. It doesn't matter how valid your point is. It doesn't matter if you're polite, constructive, or even pointing out flaws that could actually make the game better. The second you say something negative, a swarm of die-hard defenders, Hoyo shills if you will, they will descend from the heavens above to protect their billion-dollar company, telling you that you're wrong, you're out of touch, or that you just don't understand. Or maybe you're like this guy that said, just from the accent, I think you have better things to worry about, like ICE looking to deport you. I mean, to be fair, it was kind of funny, but ultimately that right there is the vicious cycle. No matter how fair the criticism is, it gets drowned out, ignored, or ridiculed. And slowly but surely, the culture of blind defense is what's been dragging Hoyoverse games closer and closer to the edge of their own downfall. And if we take a
so basically, like criticizing, it basically content creator criticize the game to make the game improvement. But the Hoyoverse keeps saying, "Oh, if you criticize the game, that means you hate the game." I would say, like, people who criticize game a lot, it's either they are like, most of them really enjoy the game and want to see the game improve. Take example like a Honka Star, when the HP inflation and stuff, like people criticizing how Akron is too broken and how the MOC is like HP inflating and everything and stuff like that. And then we got Hoyoverse like literally defending, saying that greedy and stupid. If you don't put a new character, you're dumb and you're not planning all your pulls and stuff. That's why like Hoyoverse be like, "Oh, damn, we got someone defending us. So why would they like improve their game?" You know what I mean? Like, why would they improve their game when their fan base, the Hoyoverse, like literally sucking their dicks all the time and literally still spending money? You know what I mean? That is one thing why criticizing a game to improve the game. Or if it's too late, you just see Honka Star. It's just going downtrend. Nobody played the end game anymore unless you put a newer character. Yeah, it's just bad.
Step back and truly see where Hoyoverse games are at right now, it is not looking too good. But before we really dig into this video, if you've been enjoying the content recently, make sure to subscribe and turn the notification bell on so you don't miss out on any future videos. Now, at a first glance, you might think, well, what's the harm? Fans defending a game they love isn't unusual. Isn't that just normal fandom behavior? And sure, defending your favorite game seems harmless at first. Every community has passionate players and loyalty is natural. But in the case of Hoyoverse, this kind of blind defense can actually be damaging damaging for both games and the players. Here's why. Criticism is the engine that drives improvement in live service games. It's how developers see what's frustrating, unfair, or outright broken. And when legitimate concerns get buried under fan defenses, those issues never get the attention they need. Take HP inflation, for example. As HSR progressed, enemy health pools started.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Take like would you say like ZZ and Wuthering Waves when they first launch, people criticizing the game, like legit people criticizing the game. You see Wuthering Waves when they first launch, everybody hated. Same with ZZ. But after that, they will receive like so much feedback that they'll be like, oh, so that's the problem. And then they improve it to make the game better. It's not their fan be like, oh, you criticize this, you criticize that. That's mean you hate it. You hate the game. Just quit. But that is one thing why Wuthering Waves shine, because they listen. Take Wuthering Waves as an example. Wuthering Waves, like everybody criticizing that because HP inflation and your older character cannot clear. It's like so hard to clear. While Flow just one bang everyone. Then people criticize it. They be like, oh, we see our mistake now. We're gonna fix it. You know what I mean? And same with ZZ. I'm pretty sure ZZ right now going on to like criticism about the deadly assault. You know the deadly assault. They criticize it. Now I'm pretty sure they buff it. I played once. It's like the buff is all general and the boss is like easy. There's no Masma, only one Masma. So literally, this is like a step forward, and that's what they said. Deaf listen, not Honka Star. Honka Star, the only deaf listen they have is whenever the deaf give out free 5-star. I'm pretty sure that's the only thing that in Honka Star when people say or CC said deaf listen is when they give free 5-star.
Skyrocketing, bosses and even normal mobs could soak insane amounts of damage, which in turn made your DPS start to suck. The challenge shifted from skill or strategy to insane fear of missing out, because suddenly your older characters don't work as good anymore, and if you want to clear all the content, well, it's time to gamble. And naturally, players raise their concerns. This just isn't fun anymore, and it's exhausting. And the same thing can be said about ZZ's HP inflation. Early on, people caught on to the fact that HP was rising patch after patch, and it started to not look good. Certain people brought up their concerns, but instead of the player base realizing that this is an objectively bad thing for the game, in turn, these individuals were swarmed and ridiculed by people that think giving constructive criticism is a bad thing. You hear things like, stop whining, just work with what you have, or the game is fine, you're just not as creative with your team. Suddenly, instead of sparking real
I remember that time. I remember when Miyabi came out. Like, I think when during the 1.4, they got Miyabi, literally the broken ass character inside the game, and also the ultimate rework, and the game is just so easy. So maybe like the dev like increase it because of the 3 ultimate, but I would say it's more focused on Miyabi because Miyabi was like broken during that time. I would say Miyabi, E0 Miyabi is like better than E6 Allen Joe. And when people are criticizing about that, about the HP increase, they would say like, nah, you don't do like sweat enough, or you don't play good enough, or it's like a skill issue. That is what happened in Honka Star. Remember, that is what happened in Honka Star when Akron released and the HP increased because you know, like to keep up Akron damage to make it balance. So people who have Akron, they will say like, oh, the end game is so easy. Like, what's the point? Like, the end game is so easy. So that's why they increase it to make Akron look weak. But during that time, Akron, like the most broken ass character right here, and the best DPS, maybe like Blade or Chain Liu, was right here. Like legit. So basically, they improved the they increased the HP to match up with Akron, not with other DPS. That is what happened in Honka Star. And people say like, nah, you didn't pull this. That's a skill issue. You didn't pull, or you played right, or like think, or the artifact and stuff. That's what leads to right now. Right now, Honka Star, you know the who's that? The unicorn. That unicorn fat fuck. They're more damage than Blade. And they're more damage than Blade, and the DPS. I'll be like, bro, that is so dumb. That is just so dumb. And right now we got in ZZ, I would say the Masma. Yeah, the Masma is basically like sheer for like sheer force. Yeah, it's just not fun. And as for Genshin Impact, I don't know. I haven't played Genshin Impact for a while.
Conversation, your concerns get buried under fan defense. And when issues are buried like that, they don't go away. They fester quietly, leaving frustrated players stuck in content that they can't fully enjoy. And in ZZZ's case, well, look at HP inflation now. The result of this cycle is a slow creeping burnout. Players log in less, spend less time enjoying the game, and some eventually just walk away entirely. Meanwhile, the most loyal fans keep insisting everything is fine, giving the developers the impression that there's no change needed. HP inflation keeps rising, team requirements.
Oh yeah, one more thing I want to talk about this thing about ZZ is that during that patch, you know, the Vivian patch, when the dev literally said, "Oh, I'm sorry about the gameplay is bad, the story is bad, and we will try to improve it," while the ZZ community be like, "Nah, there's no issue at all," while their own dev literally said there's a problem in their own game. That is just how bad their own dev said there's a problem. But the community will like, there's no problem. Our ZZ is a great game and still going on, even though like nobody's like in Twitch or Term or like live stream. Nobody's watched ZZ, like legit.
Stay predatory and the cycle repeats. This is a massive trend when it comes to Hoyoverse games. This is why blind fan defense is just so dangerous. It gives the illusion that the game is healthy, while in reality, design problems are quietly eroding the community's enthusiasm. HP inflation, shallow endgame, lackluster gameplay loops, predatory team building, these all could have been flagged, discussed, and improved early, but instead, criticism gets silenced, leaving the game to rot under the surface. So what are the consequences of this?
Yeah, that is what happened in ZZZ right now. People like, there's a fan base criticizing the HP inflation and the defense inflation to tell the dev they go walking to the wrong decision, like making the wrong decision to not make ZZ the new Honka Star, because we all know Honka Star is long gone. Honka Star is like literally long gone, and the only thing that's helping them like still the game still going is the whales or the tryhard or the Hoyoverse and the free character, like legit. And yeah, and the another half of ZZ basically said, "Oh, you skill issue, you're bad. Do this. Get your stats bad. You need a W engine. You play this, you play that."
This criticism gets shut down culture? Well, first off, it creates a divided community. On one side, you have players who are frustrated, who see the cracks forming, who genuinely want things to get better. And on the other side, you have players so defensive that they treat any criticism like a personal attack. That division makes the community toxic, because instead of focusing on the actual game, everyone is busy fighting each other. It's a cycle we've seen in Honkai Impact 3rd, Genshin Impact, Star Rail, and now the signs are appearing in Zenless Zone Zero. The specifics might differ.
And also in Withering Way. I'm pretty sure this video like created before the 2.7. Right now in 2.7, people are arguing about like the combat event, and the one who like say, "Oh, then play other game." They just so dumb. So it's happening to every gacha right now.
But the story is always the same. Early success, community pushback, fan defense, ignored feedback, and player burnout. Hoyoverse has already walked this path multiple times, and the pattern makes it clear that they really don't care as long as the money keeps flowing. Another consequence this has on their game is burning out their money source, which is their dedicated players. The ones who cared enough to post feedback, make videos, writing guides, or stick around long term, those people eventually get worn down and leave. And once that happens, it's almost impossible to get them back. Now, here's the part that's really worth thinking about. Why does this actually hurt Hoyoverse?
There's no Honka Star, big Honka Star like live streamer or content creator. I would say the only one I know is Box2. I think Box2 is like quitting, or maybe he come back. Another one is Mr. Pokey. Before it used to be like so many people making guides and stuff. Right now it's just them like still going. The big one. I'm talking about the big one. I don't talk about like the small one. I'm talking about the big one. I'm pretty sure like small CC still like doing guides about Honka Star.
After all, they're still making millions, right? Star Rail, Genshin, ZZZ, they're topping charts, pulling in insane revenue. On the surface, everything looks fine, but here's the reality. The honeymoon phase doesn't last forever. Sure, hype and marketing can carry a game for the first year or two, but long-term success depends on the player's trust. And if you've been paying attention to each new release from Hoyoverse, Genshin took 4 years till people in mass started leaving. It took HSR about 2 years, and with ZZZ, well, that didn't even take a full year. I'm guessing Honkai Anime Nexus will be a smooth 1 month, but who knows? We'll see. Here's the irony. By silencing criticism,
right now, I think if you don't know, they just released a fucking new game called like similar to is that Animal Crossing. So literally, Hoyoverse just create a new game because their old game is not like slowing dying already.
Hoyoverse actually hurts its own future. The shills think they're protecting the game, but they're protecting it from the one thing that could save it, which is honest feedback. Without that, the devs only see half the picture. They keep doubling down on systems that frustrate the players, and by the time they realize the damage, the community has already moved on. And make no mistake, competition is heating up. The golden age of gacha gaming is right around the corner. And make no mistake, just as I mentioned in my previous videos, taking all of this into consideration, this is just one thing that'll drive Hoyoverse to its inevitable fall off. So what's the takeaway here? The biggest sin in gacha gaming is criticizing the one and only Hoyoverse, because in short term, sure, the defenders win, they silence the critics, they protect their game from negativity, but in the long term, the silence rots the game from within. The problems stay, the players leave, and the cycle repeats until even the most loyal fans wake up and realize the game they love could have been so much more if only people had been allowed to speak up. And that's the sad truth. Hoyoverse isn't failing because of lack of talent, they're failing because of a culture that refuses to listen. And if that culture doesn't change, the games will keep bleeding out one patch at a time, and well, goodbye Hoyoverse. But what really gets to me the most isn't just the direction that these games are taking, it's the fact that we're missing out on what they really could have been. There's so much untapped potential in each of them, and it hurts to see that wasted. You might mistake my criticisms for hate, but that couldn't be further from the truth. Every bit of feedback I give comes from someone who genuinely loved these games at their best. I was someone who truly enjoyed Genshin Impact during its prime, those early days when the world felt alive and full of promise. I also had an absolute blast during the first year of Honkai Star Rail, exploring its characters and stories with real excitement, and when I first saw Zenless Zone Zero, I saw something special. The game with so much unique potential to offer something new and refreshing. But unfortunately, what we ended up with was so far removed from that vision, and one of the biggest reasons for that, in my eyes, is the toxic positivity that's taken over large parts of the community. Instead of honest discussion.
Yeah, basically, to summarize, you look at Genshin, like they release mid-patch after mid-patch, and broken-ass character, and people will be like, oh, thank you so much. Oh, thank you for this story, even though like the story is not even improving. It just still keep going bad, like literally bad. And the community be like, oh, thank you for this. Thank you for this garbage. Thank you so much. And while if the Genshin community would be like, Hoyo, listen, Genshin, listen. Your storytelling is trash, and everything is trash. The animation is trash. You should fix this. So if the criticism, like there's a bunch of them, that's me be like Hoyoverse or Genshin be like, oh damn, people criticizing. So let's fix this up. Like let's fix this right now. But right now, people are still like, oh thank you so much. Oh, thank you so much. So they be like, oh, I just give them garbage. So if I give them garbage again, like some mid-ass patch or predatory stuff again, they will still like think they're still glazing. So what's the point of trying? You know what I mean? That is what's happening in Hoyoverse right now. Same with Honkai Star Rail. When people are criticizing the HP inflation, they be like, oh, that's okay, that's alright, that is for the meta, for the game to grow. You know what I mean? And then be like, oh, thank you so much, thank you for this 3.x story. It's really long and really meaningful. Thank you so much, without complaining about the storytelling and stuff. Same with ZZZ, same with other gacha games, same with Wuthering Wave, but Wuthering Wave and ZZZ, I'm pretty sure they are listening. I'm sure those two gacha games right now are listening and trying to fix their mistake and stuff.
discussions and constructive criticism, we get blind praise and hostility towards anyone who dares to point out flaws. That kind of environment doesn't help grow the games. It holds them back. And the worst part is, this isn't just a one-time thing. It's become a pattern, a cycle where hype drowns out reason, and anyone asking for more is told to just be grateful. But we should expect way more. Not out of entitlement, but because we've seen what these devs are capable of when they listen, when they take risks, and when they value the community feedback. Because of that, we've been robbed, not as individuals, but as a community, from ever truly experiencing what these games could have been if honest feedback had been welcomed instead of silence. Well done, Hoyoverse. But at the end of the day, this is just what I think. If you agreed or disagreed, let me know in the comment section down below. I always enjoy engaging with as many of you folks as possible. And if you enjoyed the content, make sure to subscribe and turn the notification bell on so you don't miss out on any future videos. If you enjoyed this video,
yeah, I'm pretty sure that's all. A good video from Smack, by the way. Not Gotcha Smack, San RB. So let me summarize what in this video. So basically, criticizing Hoyo bad, and people keep saying, oh, if you criticize the game, that means you hate the game. But criticize is basically just improving the game. What, like, you know, like Genshin, during that time, people are criticizing, trying to make the game better, and the Hoyo share be like, nah, the game is fine, the game is fine. Then people start to leave one by one, including me, because of the story and stuff. Or I would say Genshin story was, pacing was not really that good. After Netland, I'm pretty sure people are glazing about Fontaine. Yeah, let's not talk about Genshin. Let's talk about Honka Star. Honka Star, after Battle Ball, the Penacony, like I would say Penacony during the first 3 patch, it was good. Then the rest just all filler. And during Akron release, the end game just going down here. People are complaining about that, but the whole year be like, that's fine, that's okay. So the feedback wouldn't reach to the Honka's dev. Or maybe the Honka dev be like, oh, if we still doing this predatory stuff and still earning money and still have people like defending their predatory stake, so what's stopping them on keep still going? Because like you will see the criticizing and the defending is like so far apart, because there's more defense, like more silencing the criticism. They be like, let's follow the majority, which is just defending and shielding the predatory stuff. And as for ZZ, I would say ZZ, like the Miyabi, doing the Miyabi one, HP inflation and stuff, and especially the Masma. I don't know what happened to Mr. Y. Mr. Y said there's bad stuff in ZZ about the story, the UI, and the gameplay. Then they just released like bad open world type of game, and the boss is like sheer boss. The buff is sheer. The HP inflation, the stupid ass Miasma mechanic that is so focused on sheer force or rapture class. Basically, you create a new rapture class, like create a new class. You would say like Yijuan supposed to be like an attacker, and Octopus Girl basically a stunner, but they just create a new architecture type similar to Honka Star, like the Remembrance, just to sell the W engine, so people would pull the W engine and cannot use their old W engine on the new character. I mean, yeah. And as for Wuthering Way, I would say the same about the 2.7. It's yeah, because like there's no combat event and people just one, and then there's like some Wuthering Waves or Kurobot fan, Kuroshio. Is it Kurobot or Kuroshio? Yeah, Kurobot. Kurobot be like, you asking too much. Just accept what you have. Wow, people literally Wuthering Way is a combat game. At least have one. We haven't received one patch of gacha. I mean, one patch of combat in three seasons, in 3 patch, and just let them have one. You know what I mean? Anyways, that's all for today's videos. I hope you can enjoy, and don't forget to subscribe to Smack San RGB. And that's all for today's videos. I hope you can enjoy, and I'll see you next one. Bye bye.